Assalamu alaikum, you're watching Healthwise and I'm Dr. Tahira Shahid. What do we see that's most common in Pakistan? With all our mothers, with all our sisters, with all our uncles, our fathers, everybody is holding their knee, everybody is, holding a stick, everybody is bent down and saying, oh, I have a, back pain, I have a knee pain. And it's not just that. Now, all our young children as well, because they keep sitting on the computer screen or their phone screens, they keep complaining of their neck being, stiff, they keep complaining of backache, and it's getting even more and more and more. So we thought before, the world is getting locked down and you're going to be locked down during Eid and you're going to be sitting on the screen and just, eating and having all sorts of healthy, unhealthy posture around you, why not take the advice from an orthopedic doctor himself? So today we've invited onto our studio Dr. Anwar Kiani, and what you specialize in, what you don't, we will talk about that for sure. But first things first, this joint pain that we are so plagued with all the time, much more than even COVID could affect us. Why is it that we have so much of joint pain in our society?
Thank you very much, Sarah, for inviting me. Yes, that's the cause. Our society does have a lot of joint pains and they suffer from the problems. The main problem, which I think, is inactivity. People don't look after themselves well enough. They don't do exercises, and what I would say is the lifestyle is very much sedentary, and people don't give importance to the exercises.
So why do people in our part of the world think that exercise is something cosmetic or it's for weight loss only? Why don't they realize it's actually for strengthening your joints, your bones, your everything else associated with it?
Yes, I agree. It's because of lack of awareness, I would say, because what happens is if they don't have education about it, and as a whole in our society, if you come across, we don't like sports. People are not into sports, and they're just busy with their work or their even family life, personal life. The time I've spent abroad, I mean, I've seen people in England. They go out, they have exercise and in parks, and over the weekends, people go to playgrounds and play different kind of sports like cricket, football, and things like that. So that's a difference. That's a huge difference. And the other thing is people go to gym, and they also do weightlifting and all those things. So these are the things which help your muscles, your tendons, your joints, and your back. And as you're a doctor yourself, people are coming with a back pain, and I think 50% of the people are with these kind of pains. And the solution is to develop an exercise plan, to do at least 30 to 40 minutes in a day for exercise.
Yes, so it is extremely important. The problem is we are so fond of, popping all these analgesics, right? And we're so fond of just taking all sorts of pain medication and ruining our entire system, whether it's our kidneys or our liver, but not concentrating on this very important point. So when we talk about joint health, people were, popping in a lot of vitamin D lately, and, people had vitamin D and calcium overdose almost. So how important and what is the role of vitamin D and calcium for this bone and joint health, and how much should they be taking it?
Vitamin D and calcium is a mainstay of bone homeostasis, I would say, and yes, a lot of people are taking and thinking that calcium tablets and vitamin D tablets will make them fly like a Superman. It's not like that. As I said, first thing is exercise, your lifestyle. Second thing is diet. The dairy products, they have got calcium. Right.
So you should be taking your egg
and the fish.
Okay.
Yes,
right.
And eggs. Yes, egg is a healthy diet, I would say. And what I would say is, it's exposure to sun for about 15 to 20 minutes, even, where your face is exposed, and also you're up to the elbows exposed. So it will help. Yeah, you can put a sunblock,
right.
But it will help producing vitamin D3. Right, sun has got ultraviolet rays, and it will convert the cholesterol under the skin to vitamin D, one of the form of the vitamin D, which goes to liver and gets changed to another form and then goes to the kidneys.
So even if they're locked down during these Eid holidays and unfortunately they don't have parks to their access, they need to get out of their house or go on the terrace or in the balcony or stand in the window, open the window and do this exercise.
Yes.
So what is the most ideal exercise? What, like, for example, just one exercise that you would mention to them that actually helps them, because they don't realize that cardio is different from weight-bearing exercises, and weight-bearing exercises exercises are the ones that are going to strengthen your joints?
Yes, I would say 15-20 minutes of cardio, which helps warm up your muscles, improve circulation, and that is very important for all the body muscles and systems. So when the blood flows, the oxygenation to the tissues improves, and if some people are doing exercises, they feel much better after 40 minutes of workout or something like that. And then being an orthopedic surgeon, what I would recommend, what they can do is can do a bit of core training where they strengthen their muscles in front of their stomach or tummy, I would say, abdominal crunches and Pilates, and a back exercises affecting, improving the back muscles, and they are collectively called core training exercises.
Core training exercises.
So that's a very important exercise to build and also the next thing is that helps get rid of your pains, and if you have good posture, do these exercises, then you can go ahead with other exercises like weight training and muscle training.
So when we talk about an ideal posture, how should that be? How straight should your back be, and how should you be seated in a chair? Explain that.
Well,
that's very important for us
the posture we have in our in our lounge when we're sitting in the sofa, that's the absolutely opposite to it. All right.
Exactly.
So sitting upright, that's the posture you need, and also your neck. Having on straight on your
in a
body.
straight line.
So
and you should be like, your back should be touching the end of the seat.
Yes, that's.
And how do you sleep? How do you sleep? What kind of mattress should there be? Should it be a flat surface? Should it be a bumpy surface? Should you have a high pillow?
Well, that varies. To be honest with you, if somebody is healthy, I don't bother about any mattresses or pillows.
Okay.
I'm comfortable with any pillow.
So
I use
all
the same.
of that is a facade, the different kind of pillows we get?
Yes. The people who have problems, they use different hard mattresses for back pains, and they use some special medicated pillows where the neck is supported. Like for the neck, you have cervical spondylosis. People have pain in their necks. And as you earlier mentioned, people using the mobile phone sitting like that, it's going to create a lot of neck pain and issues.
So what are the ideal neck exercises for such people who are always on, on the mobile phone or watching the screen, for instance?
Again, there are some physiotherapy exercises where they have got different stretching of the neck muscles from the sides and from the front, and chin back kind of exercises. So these are also exercises. They can, if somebody is educated, they can watch it on the YouTube. They can put it neck exercises for neck pain even, or cervical spondylosis and conditions like that.
So a lot of people have this habit of, cracking their joints. They keep cracking this here. So what is that? Is it good? Is it bad?
It's not going to make any difference. Apart from the
it's
just socially unacceptable. if you or I start doing it here, here's funny sounds.
What is the role of glucosamine, chondroitin, MSM, hyaluronic acid, this very fancy supplement that we have all the time, and how good is it, and how important is it, and does it actually lubricate your joints?
Yes, these are the constituents of the joint fluid, like in cartilage, I would say. Because in the joints you have these kind of constituents, which are like chondroitin and keratin sulfates are the part of the cartilage, and they absorb water. They give kind of a compressive strength to the cartilage, and joint fluid is nutrition of the joint is with loading and unloading. Like you walk, you run, the fluid goes into the cartilage and comes out, and that's so it is. The joint gets its nutrition, and like food, I would say.
So you mentioned dairy products, and you mentioned egg, and you mentioned, what else did you say was good for the
sun exposure?
Sun exposure and
UV light. So
we have like arthritis, and then we have gout, and then we have osteoporosis. Could you shed light on this a bit, because our patients just go and take the pill that that's the painkiller, and they don't know that there's a difference, and that's why the doctor is actually prescribing them these tests so that he understands the difference between each.
The difference, the key thing is, as we talked, is exercise. And if middle age to old age group, everybody will get changes in the cartilage. It will thin out. And some people have less effect, some people have more pronounced effect on their life and their activity level. So the key is, take an example of any joint, like a knee joint, to developing knee joint muscles like quadriceps, like hamstrings, is very important. And the second thing is, if you start getting pain, if you have twisting knee injury or somebody had a fall, they should get it checked. They should have an X-rays and to see whether if they have fractured something, it should be treated. Because a lot of people come to our clinics where they have knee deformities and arthritis, and it's due to some trauma, due to some fractures, or due to sometimes some ligament injuries.
This is a very
sometimes
important
meniscus
point,
injuries.
especially it comes to your specialty, because most people think it's only the knee or the knee joint that's affected, and they don't realize it's not just the bone or the socket. There are a lot of other things, a lot of ligaments and tendons and supporting muscles that need to be carrying the joint together. And when we talk about repairing this, so everybody knows about the knee replacement operation, and most of them know also about the steroid injections, which are very, very famous in our part of the world. But then there's arthroscopy. Could you, shed light on what exactly is this ligament repair and how important it is to get this ligament repaired and not just leave it for it to repair itself on its own?
I agree with that. I mean, as I have specialized in knee and shoulder arthroscopic and sports injuries, I'll just give you an example. Knee arthroscopy for our audience, for simplicity, is just with 2 or 3 small holes. We put a camera in, and we in the other portal we just do our work. Whether it's there are few important structures like a meniscus. Meniscus is like a C-shaped structure, which is like a shock absorber for the knees, and it's a very important structure. When we jump, we run, it creates a pressure. It creates some hoop stresses, which is very important for the knee function. If that is damaged, so what we need to do is, if we ignore it, one thing is it will be a source of pain, and the second thing is sometimes you can get catching or locking. You're unable to straighten your knee, and knee stays painful for a long time, and then you develop arthritis as well over the years, I would say. The problem is we should not ignore it, and for example, the ligaments, if we talk about even ligaments, they are very important for stability of the joint. If the joint is not stable, then it's more likely to get
pain. So how useful is the
knee
brace, for instance? How useful
Bracing
is
is for initially any injury. When you have an injury, you put a brace on to give them a relief with the pain, and the most important thing is to diagnose what's happening.
Right.
So a lot of people, they put a brace, take some medicines and keep going. If they don't know the diagnosis, then obviously it's going to hurt them later on.
So what are the side effects of these steroid injections that work as magic for almost 6 months and then you're back to the square one again?
The
or
steroids,
rather negative.
Steroids are used worldwide. It's not just in Pakistan, to be honest. Arthritis, if somebody doesn't want to have a surgery, and a lot of people, they want to carry on with their work and their lifestyle, they want to delay their surgery like a total knee replacement or any joint replacement surgery. So it can give you relief from few weeks to few months to up to a year. So that's how it is. It depresses or it reduces the inflammation inside the joint, and that gives the relief.
But long term, it's not.
Long term,
right?
it's not going to heal anything. It's not going to do any repair work.
Does it cause the bone thinning as well?
It doesn't, because inside the joint, when you inject, joints are covered with the capsule, so it's mostly effect is inside the joint.
So how many can you have? How many are safe, for instance?
Well, what I do in my practice, I can repeat it after 3 months, to be honest. So that's what I do. And if the patient has got a good benefit 6 months or 8 months, obviously when that benefit is diminished, then we
What about PRP? It's a new therapy, and a lot of people are doing the platelet-rich plasma, as well as they call it stem cell therapy at times. I don't know if that's a misnomer or not, but they do call it, and they are doing it. And how good is that? And how good are these, these new kind of cold lasers that are being adopted as well? Because a lot of people are marketing them a lot these days. So what would you say about these hyaluronic fillers, then the PRP, then the stem cell therapy, and the cold lasers?
Well, that's a huge plethora of the things, I would say.
Yes, but I really want...
I don't know about lasers and things. I wouldn't believe in that. That laser is going to cure your knee.
Okay.
Full stop. There's nothing in research or any evidence that...
They say it causes some kind of neogenesis and, more and more blood supply, and it raises all the growth factors there.
I won't believe it, because there's no evidence worldwide.
Okay.
Right? In Pakistan, my patients come, some of them come from where the physiotherapists, they said, oh, they had this treatment, and the ones you have mentioned, all of them, and lasers and stuff. I don't believe in lasers, to be honest. And the second thing is, you call about PRP. Yes, PRP is used in West as well. PRP is platelet-rich plasma, right? I'll just explain it. And the platelets have got growth factors. that platelet-derived
And
growth
they help in
factors
the
and other
healing.
growth factors, and
Right.
they help in the healing.
Yeah.
But again, what I would say is there in arthritis, we have got grading, grade 1 to grade 4. They help only, to my experience, in grade 1 and grade 2.
Right.
They don't help in grade 3 and grade 4, where there's a deformity, where the cartilage is completely gone and there's a bare bone rubbing on the bone. Where you're going to get cartilage, it's beyond my imagination, and I don't have any evidence in literature. The people don't have evidence to support it. So, and the next is, you said stem cells. Stem cells, again, it's just experimental thing. People are selling it very,
Yes.
it's very expensive. You
Yes.
must,
Yes, I
I
know.
think you should know it. And in Lahore and in some
Yes.
centers in Karachi, I can't believe it. That huge amount of money
I
is
know,
paid
and
for
so
a
much so that
stem cells
they're
injection.
actually claiming to be isolating it from saliva and hair and God knows what
It's-
not.
I won't believe it. And I've seen a couple of patients, to be honest with you, they had it, and there are few things. One thing is they have a placebo effect where they feel
and
that they had some
it's the 3
treatment.
months of physiotherapy associated
And yes,
with it that's
they,
actually helping
they give you a
them.
lot of painkillers and they force you into some rigorous
Physiotherapy,
physiotherapy. And at the end, if you do that physiotherapy without anything,
You would get the
you'll
same
get
effect.
some effect,
Exactly.
right?
This is a very important
Absolutely.
point. Who are the candidates for example, knee replacement or a hip replacement, and how safe is that and how effective is that?
Any kind of joint replacement, we just offer those patients joint replacement which they are getting, their lifestyle is getting affected, they're in pain, they can't sleep, they can't walk, and the joint, that particular joint has caused a severe disability in their life. I don't offer people, the people who are walking and they have even mild to moderate arthritis, and I don't offer them and don't offer them joint replacement just because they have got arthritis. It has to do with the symptoms. So if somebody has a bad symptoms, they have knee pain most of the day. For example, we're talking about knee, and they can't walk more than 100 yards, and whenever they sleep, they have knee pain, and that wakes up from their sleep. These are the
So is
candidates.
there
for
an
a knee
age
replacement.
limit for that, or some sort of condition? For example, if somebody is very obese or has diabetes or such comorbid condition?
Well, when the joint wears down, the other systems are
Yeah.
collapsing as well when people get old. So the comorbidities, yes, we look into it, like diabetics, like heart problems or any lung problems. Yes, we do
Weight is
recommend weight loss, because whole our body weight goes through our joints, like hip joints, knee joints, and the ankle joints. Less weight, the joint has to carry less weight. If somebody is obese or overweight, obviously their joints are getting
So to
worn
control
quickly.
the weight and to improve the circulation and improve the movement,
Yes.
for everything, exercise is the key with a good diet. So just before we leave, one winding little message and then we say goodbye.
Yes,
to our-
the message is to look after yourself, try to live healthy life, look after your diet. You control your diet, you reduce the weight. Weight is less, and that goes through your joint and keeps your joint healthy. Exercise will keep your tendons and ligaments healthy, and that's what I would say. Look after yourself and don't ignore any injury. If you have an injury to any of your joints or anything, see your specialist.
Thank you
very
so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Anwar Kiani, for joining us today. And you heard it from the orthopedician himself, that take care of your bones, don't ignore your injuries, and keep moving. That's when your body and your bones remember that you're alive and kicking. Thank you so much for watching. See you inshallah tomorrow. Allah Hafiz.